Randy Harp here. I'm here with President Mark Milioni, president of Mission University. Right. We had a formal presentation this morning, a press conference in the chapel. Went very well.
Yeah, it was a great day.
A lot of distinguished guests there. Share a few of the guys that were there.
Well, we had the mayor, we had some county commissioners, we had other leaders from the city, but also some major business leaders. Something that the mayor of Springfield, he told me afterward, I've driven past here thousands of times. I've never been here.
Wow.
So it was really a great opportunity to get to really have the city, our friends and all that here in town come in.
Yeah. So this morning was the official press conference announcing the name, shared a few little bit other information we'll talk through. But so this isn't a formal press conference. We only want to just talk. We're friends. We've been friends a long time.
You're the investigative journalist on behalf of the Baptist Bible Fellowship.
I've got the hard questions for you today. So I just wanted to talk because I know there's questions. Right. People may have questions. I want this to be a little less formal than a press conference. Talking to the pastors and talking to the missionaries of the Baptist Bible Fellowship International. So that's kind of what our plan is. If you've not watched the official announcement video, that's on the same site. It's on mission.edu.
Mission.edu, brand new site. It just, we had it ready and
so
opened it today.
So if you go to gobbc.edu,
it'll take you there.
Link.
Yep, but it'll link to that.
Yeah. So everything's on there, athletics, or academics, all the courses, how to sign up online, how to give, everything's on mission.edu. So let's just talk for a little bit. This won't be a long video, but some questions that people have asked me, and instead of me asking or answering them, I thought I would just talk to you about it in this kind of format, easy way to get information out. So obviously the number one question is why? Why are you changing the name of our beloved Baptist Bible College?
Yeah, I've already had people accusing me of all kind of things for doing this. So it is a great question. It's a fair question. Let me give you a little bit of just background from my perspective. I hadn't been the president of BBC for 2 months yet. And I went to a family reunion, and I sat down next to my Uncle Gene, Gene Milioni, in the very first graduating class. And I was sitting next to him, and within 2 months, I was already worn out. I was already questioning, why would I have done this? Why did I do this? Because I was just starting to learn. My Uncle Gene, he looked at me and he said, have you ever thought about changing the name? Now, Uncle Gene, he is the ultra conservative of our family, and he was the fundamentalist, and it just kind of shocked me that he would.
One of the first graduating classes.
In the first graduating class. And he asked me that question, and I hadn't been president 2 months, and I'm like, I haven't thought about that. He said, we used to tell Dr. Vic all the time. He said, for other students and business students and education students, they'd be more apt to choose it if you did that. And I just tucked that away and didn't. I had bigger things to worry about at the time.
Yeah.
So, go forward a while, and we conquer major financial issues. We deal with major academic issues, which today we're in such good standing in those areas. So we get past some of those, and even through COVID, it was difficult. But we start online, and that really began to open our eyes to there's a whole world out there that may be interested. And we just began to learn. We talked to other people about the recent study, Christian enrollment company came and met with us and just kind of investigated what we were doing, because every Christian college, especially ministry folks colleges, were just declining at a crazy rate.
Yeah.
Very few are choosing ministry as a full-time occupation today. In fact, so out of 70,000, they surveyed 70,000 Christian high school students that were looking for a Christian college. What degrees are they looking for? What colleges are they looking at? Of course, we didn't even measure on their study.
Yeah.
Less than 1% of Christian high school students were considering any kind of ministry as their vocation.
Wow.
And we're like, man, what? At the same time, we have several missionary-based students, but they're getting a business degree because parents and even pastors are recommending that.
Yeah.
Students that want to go into church ministry, getting a business degree because their family doesn't want them to get a. So, I mean, it's hard to think of how's a college like BBC going to exist. Looking at our name, it identified us to our fellowship, and even in our fellowship, it just we're fishing in a very, very small pond.
Yeah.
Our name just drew us to a very small pond. So we thought about that, and then a couple of years ago, what finally kind of pushed me to really think through this and start the process. We had a discussion with our trustees after I had two pastors. It was just at a fellowship meeting, two pastors right in a row. It was. I think it was one of those God things that came up to me. First one said, "Hey, Brother Mark, have you ever thought about changing the name?" I'm like, I kind of looked at him. He's like, "I know I could send a lot more students there if you did. Parents would like that." And then the second one said, "Hey, have you ever thought about changing the name? I have students that probably would choose it if you." And it's things like that that just so crazy stories like that, and it just began to come together. We have gone through so much to get where we're healthy today. We've gone through so much that I have students, and I'm talking to our fellowship now. I mean, this is my home and my heart. I have more people outside of our fellowship that are wanting BBC than our own fellowship, and that's hard.
Yeah,
I want us to change that. So we just began thinking through all that, and then there are two more reasons that really kind of pushed us. This is going to help our students. When a student goes to interview for a job, when they fill out their resume, if they're a business student or an education student, it's going to help them, not have to explain or apologize,
Right.
for having a business degree from a non-recognizable college in that realm. So it'll help our students. It will help our missionaries. And I know some missionaries have mentioned this now and then. Just since we've been discussing this, we've had multiple missionaries ask us, please do this. Because as much as we think our world has kind of gotten over this or that, if you have, they have to put down where their degree is from when they go into other countries or they want to work in other countries.
Yeah.
We get requests all the time from missionaries asking for a diploma with a different name on it. And so, honestly, it's going to help. It's just going to help us in a lot of ways.
To go off that, if a missionary wants a new diploma, that you can,
or anybody. So today, we're ready, and we'll have it on our website soon. But anybody that graduated previously, you can request a new diploma.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Does it change your GPA? No, we need some help on that.
We can work on something. We can work it out.
So it's not mission college, it's mission university. University. What's the benefit of being a university?
Well, the definition of a university is having multiple graduate schools. And until we went online, we didn't. We really didn't qualify for that. And so, but I mean, there's a lot of other colleges out there that use the name university. The university in the academic world is a higher status, and it is a more recognizable, academic product. But we never really qualified. But now we do. In fact, we're adding this fall. We're adding an MBA, a business degree online, as well as some masters in education online. So we're continually looking at adding some things like that. But so now we qualify for that title. But I just think the name fits. Mission University. Yeah. It flows. Everybody really loves it. And I think it's safe to say it describes us pretty well. Yeah. If you had to pick a name, this is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Now, I think going back to 70 plus years now, almost 74 years.
Yeah.
That's been what the BBFI has been all about,
Right.
is our mission
Right.
and missions.
That's right.
So we talked about what's changing. Obviously, the name's changing. What's not changing?
Yeah.
Because that's what. Everything's changing now. It's not going to be noticeable to anything. What's not changing?
Well, just about everything is not changing, and I think sometimes we're gonna use this is the big shiny thing right now. But honestly, students, when they come back into class, nothing's changing. They're same atmosphere, same classes, same professors, and I want to assure everybody, our beliefs are still the same.
Yeah.
Our doctrine is still the same. Our relationship to the Baptist Bible Fellowship is still the same. I'm a product of BBC, and I'm proud of that. I've always been proud of that. But I know who we are. I know what we believe. I know our heart. Our atmosphere is not changing. Our standards are not changing. None of that's changing. Honestly, it's not as big a change as really maybe what we're putting out there today.
Yeah.
Because the product is still the same.
Yeah. So kind of a similar question. We know that's what's not changing, but there's still some people that might have a concern.
Yeah.
What would you say to that pastor that maybe graduated a while back, or maybe they graduated a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It's if they're concerned, or a missionary tied back into the fellowship or to the college, what do you have to say to that pastor, that missionary that's concerned about the state of the college now?
Right. I know it should raise concern. I mean, had I been back in my old church and heard this, I would be curious. I'd be real curious. So what does that mean, and what's happening there? I think there's some things to know. First of all, our board is filled with pastors from the Baptist Bible Fellowship,
and many of them were here today.
Many of them were here today. This is us.
Yeah.
This is our guys. I mean, our discussions we've never had a topic that had more unity than this. It's just been amazing to see the Lord work all of this out. So I think the testimony of our trustees. I've been here 12 years. If I wanted to be trendy and cool, I would have done it. I didn't wait 12 years just to get to this point to do this. I'm not a trendy guy. I don't do things to be cool, because I'm not. I do what I feel is right. And I think we've proven that. I've made the right decisions when we dealt with finances and academics and online and COVID. Our track record is pretty good. Yeah. My life, my history, my family is all tied up from Temple Baptist in Detroit through the Baptist Bible Fellowship and BBC. And so you have every right to look at me, every right to look at our trustees, every right to ask that question. Yeah. But we have been steady. You've been in our classroom.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's teaching. You know what's going on. I mean, that's what they need to ask. They need to ask who's doing this and what's going on there.
Kind of along those lines, you said in the press conference earlier that part of why now kind of question is you wanted to wait till you had all the right pieces in place, and the right faculty, the right staff, the right administration, the right trustees, everything kind of fit together. Talk about that just a little bit.
Right. When you go through what we've gone through, and I don't think we can not just realize we should not be alive, but God, time after time after time, we've made it, and now we're progressing forward in a lot of areas. The team that's come through that with me, I mean, we have solid people in the right places. So we have the right finances finally. We have the right academic standing. We have the right faculty. We have the right atmosphere. Our atmosphere on campus is wonderful. I'm very, very proud of that. We've got the right partners. We've got the right vendors that we work with. All these right processes, all the right data points that academic institutions have to have. So it just kind of all came together at the right time, and I think with the right name.
Yeah.
The right name.
Good.
The right time.
Good.
Yeah.
So the name's changing. Everything else is staying the same, basically. What else we not talked about? Maybe other things that are changing. What else is going on campus?
We are expanding our degree opportunities. So we've had a lot of pastors, say, hey, do you offer, we have a pastor, several that have asked, do you offer criminal justice? And we couldn't, we haven't, but today we do. So we have partners through a couple of different other institutions. So a student can come and live on campus, experience the life, the atmosphere, the biblical worldview, the maturing process that we have through student life, as well as all the Bible, all the chapel, all the church and all that, and then take part of their degree through another institution, but it's also through us. So we can offer just about anything now that students are looking for. So a student can come here and they'll have all of BBC as well as a degree. So they could essentially graduate with 2 bachelor's degrees, one from us and one from a partner institution. Really cool thing, and it's just kind of new. COVID made so much of this happen.
It was similar to what it used to only be with the School of Nursing partner, but now it's
very
expanded.
Similar. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And a lot of it's happened since COVID?
Yeah.
Opportunities?
All the government and accreditation agencies, they basically just said, they took down the walls that used to have to be in place. So our students from any place can come. I'm excited about that. Parents like that because they like BBC. They like the atmosphere, but we just didn't have some of the degrees that they would like, for their kids.
Sure.
So that's one thing. We're the other things that are changing. Really, we really do need to fix up the outside. We have done a lot on the inside. Still have more to go, but the outside looks like it did when I was here.
I was going to say, we're right now, we're in the mission office building,
right?
But it's not going to be the mission office building too much longer.
Right.
This building was going to belong to
Mission University.
Mission University. So you showed some pictures this morning of not just this building and kind of area. And I know nothing's set in stone or firm, but just kind of some ideas on this building and a couple other buildings.
Right. Well, I'm excited about that because it needs to happen. When you drive past, you don't get excited. It still looks old. And so we really are excited about the opportunity to fix up the exterior. We need to. I mean, we're representing, I've made a pact that if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And we're going to be the best this is for God. Let's be the best. That's what academically, nobody's better than us academically. I'm very proud of that. But it was because of a choice, If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And I want the same thing to be said about our campus. So that's a big thing that's coming. We got big dreams and goals, finances and plans. We're trying to figure that out right now.
Do you think by fellowship week, some of that'll be not finalized, but share some of that?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we'll be able to have some plans. I hope even between now and then we'll at least have some signage. That's the first thing is to just change some of the signage that we got outside.
So that you think there'll be new signs by fellowship week?
I hope so.
Yeah.
We've got some ordered now, and there's some big ones that we're trying to figure out how to do them. But
good. Good. Talk about one other new thing. Coach Darren Minders shared a little bit about the athletic program and lots of new athletics.
We have been so blessed athletically. I mean, several years ago, before we had the coach here, I personally canceled everything because I was frustrated. I was disgusted. We had students here that didn't fit, and when I got here, the athletes were it was bad. And I laid it out. This is who we are, and this is who we're going to be. So our athletes, they come from some of the godliest families that I've met around from Southwest Missouri, and even some of our churches now have baseball and basketball players here. And so it's very exciting because these families have kids that fit here. And they're just wonderful. They're wonderful young men and young women. And I still, every single week, I spend hours. I had 4 visits yesterday. Students coming to visit with their families. And I lay it right out. We are a small, private, conservative Christian college, and you're going to have Bible in this area, and you're going to take this many ministry classes, and you're going to be involved in this, and you're going to be in chapels. And if you understand that, that's great. If you don't, then there's other colleges. So, but they get it. They get it. So it really is a great atmosphere. But the exciting thing is we're not just sweet, good Christian guys. We're good. Our teams are really good. We've won 2 national championships in the last 3 years. Our baseball team went to
I talked to the baseball coach this morning. He's excited.
He is. We went to Christian College World Series last year, and we didn't lose any players. We're still young. This is only this will be the third season that we've had. So yeah, he's pretty excited, and I think we're going to have a good year. I'm excited about that.
So in essence, you let everybody know when they come in exactly who BBC is. Absolutely. And everybody's welcome as long as they understand that.
That's right.
That's not new news to you. That's Vic said that, right?
Yeah. No, and talk about that, because you're the one who showed me that article a while ago.
Yeah. From the 50s,
1950.
right when it started. Yeah, GB Vic said, hey, our college is open to anybody. They need to know who we are.
Right.
But everybody's welcome.
That's right.
And so you're doing the same thing today.
That's right.
Everybody's welcome, but this is who we are.
That's right.
And that's not changed in 74 years.
Sometimes we get it backwards. If we have a very narrow funnel, then very few can come in. But if we have a wider funnel, then let's train them to become Baptists. Let's train them in Baptist doctrine. And that's what we do. They all go through those classes.
Yeah.
And they're loving it.
Ray Adams is still teaching Baptist distinctives and Baptist history and church history. So
that's right.
So
that's right.
So let's kind of wrap it up with a couple more questions. What's next? What now? What's on the horizon? If you could dream a little bit, what's it look like? What's coming up for Mission University?
It's still important for us to grow. We don't live on endowments. We don't have any of that. We need it. So we're tuition driven. So that means, we need students, and we're close to that critical level that will help us to continue to stay positive, so we can do some facility, enhancements and things. So I hope we'll continue to grow. We've grown 20% the last 3 years, which is great. But even at our size, that's not huge numbers.
Yeah.
So we're still getting there. But I really hope that we'll continue to grow and see that happen, because that will just help us. And honestly, it's not just about me. It's not just about BBC. When we grow,
who?
I need to put $1 in our
we
jar.
We talked. We're gonna have a jar every time.
I know. I'm going to be the worst one at it. Mission University. Yeah. Thank you. Not only did we grow in athletes this year, but we grew. We have our largest incoming mission ministry class this fall. So I mean, when it's kind of like the rising tide is bringing all of them up. So honestly, we need to do this if we want to have a ministry school.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to put my business hat on, and this is all part of that. So I'm hoping we'll continue to see growth. We'll continue to see more ministry students.
And we need our pastors to send ministry students here.
We do. I finished my PhD last year, and my dissertation was studying what influences students that choose ministry as a vocation. And there were some major things that my whole paper was on, but the number one thing was a mentor, or in their words, was their pastor or youth pastor showed an interest and invested time, involved them in ministry, and encouraged them to go to the right college and go into ministry. Yeah. A personal challenge and input. Yeah. That's got to happen. Yeah. And I don't know how much that's really happening. Yeah.
That's my story, probably your story. Yeah. And when I decided I was going to go to ministry, I didn't know any other college except this, because that's what my pastor told me.
That's right.
So while I've got you, kind of completely changes. Well, before I do this, anything else that you want to add or say to the pastors and missionaries? Questions I maybe didn't ask, because I want to ask you about Fellowship Week.
Okay. No.
Anything else you want to share?
I would just say, just today, while we were in our chapel over there, our website came on, mission.edu, which is, I think, a great name for a website. Oh, yeah. Mission.edu, and that has all the introduction stuff to Mission University, but also our new website that just has all that on there. So you can go there, and I would say, a church or a pastor may say, why do I need to keep supporting, or it's needed now more than ever. I mean, your money is not going to make anybody rich. Your money is we put it directly into helping students come. And the students that come from our churches, they get our best scholarships. So I would just ask for you to not only continue giving, but to consider even bumping that up a little bit. And you don't have to make a check out to Mission University. Our corporate name is Baptist Bible College, and probably always will be. So either one, you don't need to change anything. It all works. But to just consider keep on doing that.
Yeah. Hey, one thing, I don't know if we hit on this. If we did, I apologize. We'll say it again because you mentioned still Baptist Bible College. That's still part of the school.
That's right. That's right. And I don't think we did in this interview.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was important to keep, a university is made up of different colleges. So our ministry and Bible studies college is going to stay Baptist Bible College and Theological Seminary. I think that's important.
Yeah.
That we're not getting rid of that name. We're keeping it, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
But it does allow our business students someday we'll name a College of Business and the College of Education. It's part of it.
Just waiting for the right donor, right?
Pray about that. That's right. That's right.
All right, let's talk about Fellowship Week. I know it's January, but it's going to be here before we know it.
They need to make their reservations and get ready. So
there's a brand new Chick-fil-A down the street,
so
everybody can come and eat for
It's right next door to a brand new Whataburger.
Yes.
Since they've been here last. So April 30th through May the 3rd. Our theme is apologetics. Tuesday through Friday morning is graduation. Same schedule as we've had for years, and it's kind of the same setup and all that. But I'm very excited. We've got some guys that are really going to focus on what does apologetics mean, and what does it mean to the church, and what does it mean to our culture. Understanding that. It's a big fancy word, but it's really about understanding what we believe about certain things today.
Yeah.
So I've invited Jeremiah Johnston, Dr. Jeremiah Johnston. He works at Prestonwood Baptist Church. He's the head of their apologetics. Over there, they have a large Christian school, but also he travels all over, part of the Creation Thinker Society, and just very, very well spoken in this area, written several books, has a brand new book out, about Jesus and apologetics. He's going to be with us Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. And then Dan DeWitt, he is a graduate of BBC.
Yeah.
That one still works.
Yeah, he is. We were freshmen on the same floor together.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, he's really got heavily involved and recognized in the apologetics world as well. So he's going to be with us Wednesday morning and Wednesday night. And then our missions is doing Thursday morning. And then we're going to have a special thing out at their new place.
Hour.
Oh yeah, a church planning hour. Yeah, will be first on Wednesday morning, and then we'll have those guys are going to both speak again. And I hope we have time. I'd like to do a little Q&A with them.
Oh yeah.
That morning, and then Thursday night, David Botts, one of our professors that teaches apologetics as well as hermeneutics and our theology. And that night we're going to focus on Scripture and just what does apologetics and the Bible mean to us today.
So it sounds like it'll be somewhat academic, but also very practical on how apologetics is practical.
I want everybody to make sure. Yeah, it'd be easy to just spout off a bunch of academic stuff. What does it mean to a local church to understanding apologetics? What do you as a pastor, staff member, need to be communicating to your church today?
Yeah.
What do they need to know?
Perfect.
What do they need to learn? Yeah.
So thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you got questions about Mission University, best place is the website, mission.edu, and then the phone numbers haven't changed?
No, phone numbers haven't changed. You can still email me, president@gobbc.edu or president@mission.edu.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. Thanks for taking the time to do this interview. I appreciate it.
Yep.